Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us for this session on helping high achieving students with the scholarship application process. The five of us each represent a different scholarship program in the state of North Carolina, which we will all share about briefly. Over the past year, we have worked together closely to benefit the students of North Carolina by providing access to information about each of our scholarships. We are excited to share a little more about ourselves, and then we will dive into determining fit, understanding selection criteria, and helping students craft standout applications. In the spirit of sharing more with you all, we will also share a fun fact about ourselves.
Hello, my name is Christina Garrett, and I bring you greetings from the sloping hills and verdant green of NC Central University and the Cheatham-White Scholarship Program. Cheatham-White is a fully funded four-year scholarship that provides students who are exceptional scholars, versatile thinkers, and well-rounded individuals access to an outstanding educational experience. The scholarship covers full tuition and fees, housing, meals, textbooks, a laptop, travel, and personal expenses. Each scholarship also provides 4 summers of fully funded enrichment and networking opportunities that may include international travel and study abroad. Originally a special education teacher trained in the Guilford County school system, I've worked for 3 of North Carolina's extraordinary HBCUs.
Hi, everyone. My name is Margaret Turner, and I'm the Director of Admissions and Recruitment for the Honors College and EC Scholar Program at East Carolina University in Greenville, North Carolina. The EC Scholars Program is our top merit scholarship program that ECU offers. And beyond the exceptional scholarship, the program provides unique leadership opportunities, research, impact trips, study abroad, and service opportunities. Community and opportunity are key benefits of the EC Scholar Program. Growth beyond academics, but as a person, is an important element we see frequently in our scholars as they grow in intellectual curiosity, global understanding, and participate in experiential learning. EC scholars leave a lasting impact on ECU, their community, region, and beyond. Fun fact about me, I'm an industrial and systems engineer by degree, but have been in higher education now for 8 years. I have an identical twin sister who's also an engineer.
Hello, everyone. My name is Abey, Dessie, and I am the Associate Director of the Levine Scholars Program located in Charlotte, North Carolina. The Levine Scholars Program is a premier merit scholarship at UNC Charlotte. The scholarship attempts to attract the brightest and most capable students. Once they enroll, the program provides scholars with the tools, resources, and environment they need to explore the world around them, engage deeply in their communities, and excel across disciplines. The 4-year scholarship includes full tuition, room, board, a grant to implement a service project of the scholar's own design, and 4 years of summer experiences that will develop leadership skills, social awareness, and an intellectual curiosity. Prior to my time with the Levine Scholars Program, I worked in undergraduate admissions for 8 years at 3 different institutions. Fun fact about me is that I was born in Ethiopia.
Hi, everyone. My name is Justine Okerson, and I'm the Director of Scholar Selection for the Morehead-Cain Foundation at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Morehead-Cain is the first merit scholarship program established in the United States, founded at the first public university. Morehead-Cain is a 4-year, fully funded educational experience that is designed to set a student's potential free, with 4 funded summer experiences, an optional international gap year, and access to a discovery fund to accelerate a student's life experiences and increase their self-awareness. I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee. I have worked in admission and selection for over a decade, and my fun fact is that I was on the 5th season of One Tree Hill, filmed in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Hello, everyone. My name is Renee Tutchton, and I am the Assistant Director leading recruitment and selection activities for the Park Scholarships at NC State University, located in Raleigh. The Park Scholarships program is a 4-year merit scholarship covering the entire cost of attendance. The program is among the most innovative and prestigious undergraduate scholarships in the United States. The mission of the Park Scholarships program is to develop and support students in scholarship, leadership, service, and character, preparing them for lifelong contributions to the university, state, nation, and world. Working in higher education for nearly a decade, I have worked in admissions and selection at universities in Florida, Texas, and now North Carolina. A fun fact, I'm very interested in astronomy, and as a gift, someone had a star named after me.
Our partnership was born out of a spirit of collaboration. We approached it with an understanding that there are more well-deserving, high-achieving high school seniors in North Carolina than the collective space available in the incoming classes of our programs. While each of our programs is seeking the best and the brightest, we have come to understand that our joint recruitment efforts still allow us to achieve that goal while putting forward programming that better serves and educates students. When utilizing our collective high school and community-based organization contacts, we were able to market to a greater number and a more diverse group of high school students. A signature program that we have organized every season is a 5-city information session in a span of 5 days. We work together to identify a target region within North Carolina. Once the region and cities have been jointly identified, we each would take lead in finding and securing a venue. Our preferred venue is a high school that has to be willing to open its doors to students from other schools. That has always been a condition a high school must agree to when being selected as a host location. Lastly, we collaborate on developing the invitation list, creating a registration form, flyers for marketing, and our presentation. While most students and families attend an information session because they are familiar or interested in learning more about 1, 2, or maybe 3 of our programs, based on how we have structured our presentation, everyone who attends will get the chance to learn about all 5 of our programs. They get to hear about the similarities and differences from the selection and application process to the type of enrichment opportunities available once selected as a recipient. When it comes to serving students, our desired goal is getting the information in front of those who have the potential to be a scholar in any of our programs, but may be missing access to the information. A unique element for this upcoming application cycle is the possibility that campus visit opportunities will gradually increase from current rates as the daily COVID-19 infection rates continue to decrease. It is important to note that limited tour and event capacities will likely remain through the summer and possibly into early fall. What this means for in-person events is that students need to plan and reserve their space as early as possible. While everyone is looking forward to life going back to normal and the return of in-person events, virtual engagement is here to stay in one form or another. While virtual visits are not new to universities, these last 12 months have certainly pushed the university staff to develop more creative and engaging programming. In some cases, actually producing a more deeply engaging programming than what a prospective student would have experienced during a regular visit to campus. Social media is most certainly the most frequently used form by universities because the prospective students already engage on the platform as a form of entertainment and connecting with their peers. Social media platforms such as Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, and many more are a great way to gather information before it can be accessed at any time, live or after the fact. It is a great way to stay up to date on changes. Most importantly, the high school students are already there. The additional added layer that comes with social media, and in our opinion, can possibly be better than traditional forms of communication such as email and phone, is the ability to engage with professional staff, faculty, and current students. It helps to remove the formality in the communication. We can certainly discuss at length about the downfall that comes with that, so we do need to educate high school students to not be too informal. Another form of virtual engagement is an information session. It is better to attend a live session so a student can ask questions, but watching a pre-recorded session is a great way to get a jump start on information gathering. Universities are also developing creative ways to transform open house events, so it is much more than a pre-recorded presentation from departments across campus mixed in with panels. The main thing we need to remember is that we need to encourage students and families to utilize these opportunities. We know that it does not replace the experience or the feeling that comes with being on a college campus. However, colleges and universities have invested a significant amount of staff time and financial resource to develop new virtual programming. It has also allowed colleges and universities to incorporate current students into recruitment events for off-campus audiences in a way that they have not in the past. Regardless of how we feel about virtual programming, it is here to stay and therefore an additional resource for prospective students to utilize as they go through the college search and selection process.
Finding the fit is one of the most important aspects when choosing which university to attend and which scholarship programs offer the benefits you're looking for. Help your students make a list. Have students spend time thinking about the things that are most important to them, not their parents, not their friends, but the student. What does a school offer academically? Does it have their major? What does it offer socially? Are club sports, student government, or Greek life important to them? Are they considering traveling abroad? Do they want a small town feel where they may go hiking on the weekend, or do they prefer a big city to explore with theaters and museums? And what does it offer financially? What can the family afford, and what scholarships and financial aid are they eligible for? Encourage them to do their research. After they make a list of things that are important to them, encourage them to begin to search college and university websites to find their answers. Consider majors, campus culture, extracurricular options, study abroad, or community service. Take note of the cost of attending and what scholarship opportunities are offered. When considering top merit scholarship programs, examine what benefits and opportunities those specific programs include. For example, does the Merit Scholarship Program offer study abroad, undergraduate research, service, or internship opportunities? Which of these components is most important to them? Suggest they follow social media accounts. This will help them gain a sense of feel for the school and scholarship program as well. Help them compile and analyze their findings, and then determine their top list of schools and scholarship programs that they find most appealing. Suggest a campus visit. After narrowing down their list, students should plan a visit. It could be virtual or on campus, depending on what is allowed during the COVID era. Ask questions of admissions and scholarship directors to ensure they have the answers they need. All of these people should be available to answer their questions via email, a phone call, or perhaps even via Zoom or WebEx. A virtual visit is a good way to start to get the feel of a campus. Then strongly suggest they actually visit in person if allowed. Encourage them to talk with current students in the scholarship program they're considering and focus on what feels best and where they would be happiest. Martin Luther King Jr. said, and I quote, "The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character. That is the goal of true education. Where can your students be educated and grow in character? Where do they feel most at home? That is their best fit."
One of the most impactful pitfalls a student can make is not reading or understanding selection criteria. It is vital that a student know if the pillars of a program or university align with their own values, and then being able to effectively communicate that in the application, drawing comparisons with past experiences. This also extends to failing to draw connections between interests, pursuits, goals, and intended major. Waiting until the last minute to apply. An application should be a thoughtfully constructed, cohesive set of materials that provides a clear and accurate portrayal of the individual behind it, including that individual's developing interests and passions. This likely cannot be developed or expressed thoughtfully if the application is being completed the day of the deadline or even a few days beforehand. Additionally, a student may easily miss the deadline by waiting until the last minute because some programs and universities require all application materials to be submitted by the deadline, not just the application itself. This also includes asking for letters of recommendation. Students should ask a recommender early in the process whether or not they are willing to support them with a reference. Recommenders are not likely to write and submit a recommendation with a day or a few days' notice. Failing to review the work. Students should put the application and essays into software such as Google Docs, Microsoft Word, or Apple Pages. This can assist in catching spelling and grammatical errors. However, when copying over from different software, the student should also make sure their information is not truncated, because sometimes the systems used for an application will calculate words and characters differently. And the student should review the formatting, making sure everything is copied over properly. A sense that the student has simply checked off items on a list, that they have been involved in activities, but only on a superficial level and not in a meaningful way, as well as having sporadic rather than sustained involvements. This even connects to selling themselves short. Applications should provide illustrations of self-awareness and personal growth as a scholar and leader. They should provide examples of demonstrated impact, not just a list of activities and titles, but explanations of concrete accomplishments and the meaning derived from them. Students should not fear explaining their accomplishments. Students may also succumb to the common pitfall of reusing essays. In some cases, this means the essay they have recycled from another application will not work. It will not address the question being asked. It may also mean that a program is seeing the same essay more than once. If the student copies over the personal essay from the Common or Coalition application or from the undergraduate admissions application to use for a program, it is quite possible that the program has access to the university application for their review, and now the selection committee is provided with less information than intended. The student should look at the program website to confirm whether or not the selection committee will have access to their undergraduate admissions application and plan accordingly. And that leaves us with our final pitfall, not following instructions. Failing to answer the questions asked or not elaborating on those questions can have a detrimental effect on an application. The application is a chance for selection committees to get to know the student. If the student is unable to provide answers to the questions posed, then there will be a gap in our knowledge for that particular student as compared to the thousands of other applications received.
What are some ways counselors and advisors can best support students actively seeking merit scholarship opportunities? Although scholars won't always ask, they sometimes need more than just a few shining letters of recommendation and an excused absence for college visits. Even though these students don't often require much academic assistance, navigating the waters of college admissions can be a very different and daunting task, which may require them to seek support from counselors that they may or may not have had much interaction with. To begin, when writing letters of recommendation to supplement student scholarship applications, avoid summarizing a resume that they've likely already submitted. Reviewers are interested in learning about personal relationships and interactions with the candidate, not something that can be assessed from other documents in the application packet. It's always best to address the student's limitations in addition to their strengths in order to portray a genuine representation of the student and their most significant contributions and areas for growth and improvement. Additionally, provide specific examples of how the candidate meets the individual scholarship program's criteria and how their personal goals may align with the program's mission. It's also important for counselors to communicate early and often with their students about potential scholarship opportunities and the eligibility requirements for each. Helping students prepare to meet and maintain appropriate requirements for nomination and candidate eligibility can begin as early as the freshman and sophomore years in high school. Hosting scholarship information nights, admission counselor panels, recruitment events, and on-campus appointments are all ways to promote knowledge of merit scholarships on your campus. Consider reaching beyond the Office of Admissions on university campuses and directly to scholarship program offices for the most up-to-date information about guidelines for student applications and potential nomination requirements. Finally, help students understand that not all classes and credits will transfer equally to all institutions and at times may impact minimum eligibility requirements. while applying and being admitted to an institution is a considerable accomplishment worthy of celebration, it sometimes may only be the first step to earning a merit scholarship. Encourage students to do their research early so they can begin building their experiences to align with the selection criteria for programs that are best fit for their future goals and aspirations. Doing so will encourage programs to look further than the student's transcript and begin to understand what could very well be their next entering scholar.
Everyone wants advice on how to stand out in the admission process. My first piece of advice is to stop, take a deep breath, and reflect. I recommend that a student ask themselves questions to focus inward and learn what really makes them unique, including thinking about their personal values, what motivates them, and what their goals are for the future. Knowing the answers to these questions will help a student immensely as they complete an application. The application process is designed to help a selection team get to know a student, and that becomes much easier when a student knows themselves. It's a student's responsibility to convey who they are beyond their resume or list of activities. We want to learn what a student is passionate about and why. How did they get involved in a particular club or service organization? How have their collaboration skills grown from that experience? What makes them get out of bed in the morning? Are they the type of student who engages in individual activities, or are they the type that inspires and engages others, bringing them along on their leadership journey? Even during COVID-19, there are opportunities to make a difference and impact others. A student that stands out is one who is creative in finding ways to connect with others and find service opportunities, even if they are virtual. A student should reflect on their extracurriculars and think about what they learned from their experiences. They should also spend time reflecting on how the experience transformed who they are today. Perhaps it strengthened the student's leadership skills, taught them to be a team player, or inspired their community spirit. Next are the essays. Essays should be self-reflective. That's the difference between good, great, and remarkable. A good essay gives us the facts. A great essay tells a vivid story, and a remarkable essay takes it one step further by using the opportunity to tell a vivid story and demonstrate a student's personal awareness, maturity, and ability to learn from and be shaped by their experiences. And a strong essay can sometimes make all the difference between moving forward in our process to advance to an interview round. When all else is equal, a powerful, well-written, but not overly polished essay can tip the balance for an applicant. Selection committees look for evidence that a student can write well and support ideas with a logical argument, but we also really want to know more about the personality of the applicant. For example, this past year, a student responded to a prompt about an idea that excites him by writing about the stock market. He goes on to describe the stock market by saying, "It's where life-saving cures are discovered, and it's a place to buy peanut butter or endpoint AI solutions. It does not discriminate, but it will intimidate, and is both organic and synthetic. A realm where crude numbers determine the fittest. It's the past and future, reacting to the month's report, but driving tomorrow's politics, and is void of second chances. There are rules like a game, but it's a job to some and influences everyone, whether they know it or not. It's an opportunity sitting there for the taking, all in the stock market." This is a fantastic example of a remarkable essay, a vivid story mixed with a student's personal awareness and maturity. It is crucial then for a student to be authentic and genuine in an application. When asked about why a student was motivated to work at a particular job, the student replied, "Admittedly, I got the job because of a girl I liked who worked there. I started as a busser and I'm working my way up to serve tables. I've learned that earning money isn't all sunshine and rainbows, and a professional understanding of coworkers is key." But again, students have to be sure their story is authentic to who they are. If a student is funny, it's okay to be funny in the application. But if a student is not funny, then they shouldn't try to be. When asked what prompted a student's involvement in student government at her school, she responded, "I wanted to see a leader at my school who looked like me, and I was sure others felt the same way." This type of honesty and authenticity is so critical in an application that stands out for a scholarship committee. Another way to ensure an application stands out is for an applicant to show different sides of their personality and interests. If there are 3 essays in an application, a student should not use all 3 opportunities to talk about one activity or interest in their life. Instead, we encourage students to show multiple sides of themselves, like an applicant this past year who wrote about organizing a walkout at her school after the Parkland shooting, grappling with her own privilege and personal prejudice, and the lessons learned by working at summer camp. Applicants are not one-dimensional, and we want to see different sides of a student and what makes them tick. One good rule of thumb for any essay is that a student is sharing something that is unique to their personal story and experience. A student should ask themselves, would other applicants write the same thing? If an applicant's best friend was to pick up their essays off the ground without knowing who wrote them, they should be able to identify the applicant as the author based solely on the content. Another way to stand out is for students to think carefully about who they ask to write a recommendation letter and reflect on what that person can share about their candidacy. A powerful letter of recommendation can make a significant impact on a student moving forward in our process. Picking someone who can truly speak to how a student meets specific scholarship criteria is also key. One recommender this year wrote in their letter, "I have never met a more deserving candidate. She is the embodiment of academic ability, drive to succeed, and social consciousness. Her heart really does seem to be about making others' lives better. It would be wonderful for North Carolina if she received this scholarship and decided to stay in North Carolina. We would be a better state with her in it." To stand out in the process, we recommend that a student pursue their interests outside of the classroom, stay academically competitive, submit stellar essays, pick their recommenders wisely, and showcase what makes them unique. We hope you've enjoyed this presentation today. Thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to answering any questions you may have.